The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies that even the G-men cannot reach. The Green Hornet. The adventurer, the Devil's Playground. The events and characters depicted in this drama are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
Some wow business, Casey. Look at the crowds around all the different stands.
There's a wax museum and a shooting gallery. Is it always so crowded here, Lowry?
Sure, all season. People come down here to go swimming on the beach. They wander around evenings, taking in all the excitement. They don't tell me you've never been here before.
First time, cross my heart. I always meant to, but after leaving the newspaper, well, you know how it is.
Even those newspaper hounds get a day off once in a while.
Anyhow, Mr. Reed suggested I come out here with you, so here we are.
Yes, with orders to see how all these carnival concessions are going.
Why did Mr. Reed want me to go? I'm a secretary, not a reporter.
They always look like the rest of them. A couple out for a good time.
Mr. Lowry.
Oh, here's the roller coaster, Casey. What do you think of it?
It's awfully fine, isn't it?
The leaves of restless. Enjoy the fun ride, the Devil's Dipper, only 50 cents half an hour, the fastest picture roller coaster in the world. How about it, brother? You and the lady friend? Waiting right now. Like to try, Casey?
No, thanks. Not me, Lowry.
Why not? Sure, lady, there ain't nothing to worry about.
It doesn't look safe. Well, every time a car goes around that curve there, the whole support seems to shake.
That's the way it's built, lady. Vibration can't have it rigid.
Yes, but so much.
Safe to the ground you stand on, lady. Absolutely safe. Come on, get aboard the Devil's Dipper. Two tickets, brother. Well, the lady says no. I guess you'll lose the sale.
Come on, Lowry. Let's see what's further along.
Okay. All right, the Devil's Dipper, folks. What's the matter with you, Casey?
Now, don't you start calling me crazy because I didn't want to ride that roller coaster.
Well, the only way for us to get any dope for a future story is to ride those things.
You're the one that writes the stories, not me. Besides, it did shake a lot.
I didn't notice it. Now, but forget it, Casey. There are plenty of people who don't go for roller coasters. How about a hot dog?
Okay, thanks.
There's a stand right over there.
Gosh, did you see that roller coaster go past?
Yeah, they screech around those turns like nobody's business. Come on. Hey, what's that?
It sounded like
It's a roller coaster. See it back there at the bottom of that dip?
sort of dark. This fence, I can't see over.
I can. Looks like the car jumped the rails.
Anyone hurt?
Can't tell from here. Come on, back to the entrance. It's a roller coaster. Stand back there, folks. Don't crowd around. We ain't let nobody in here. Gangway coming through here. Stop coming, will you? Do you see it? Here's that nobody in.
I'm right behind you, Lowry.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Inside to see that accident. Sorry, brother. Nobody gets past this gate.
But people might be hurt.
A little jarring, that's all. Nothing serious. Listen, we're reporters. You can't keep us out. Reporters or whatever you are. Nobody goes in. That's orders, see? Stay here, Casey. I'll turn now. What's the row? Easy does it. Watch this gate and don't let nobody in, officer.
Okay.
That doesn't go for reporters.
Oh, you a reporter?
He's Lowry from the Daily Sentinel.
Sure, let me in on this. It might be a story.
Well, yes, I guess reporters
He stays here. Everyone stays. The Devil's Dipper is private property, you understand?
Those people who are riding your roller
There's
coaster.
a doctor in there now. You can come in as soon as it's okay. But there ain't no story in those shows like that. Well, for those people, how long are we going to have to wait?
Well, I hear different.
Now, stand back. Stand back, all of you. Stand back.
Dear, Esther, Reed. There I go. Getting all tangled up again. Got it the way Casey makes this here typewriter flying using all 10 fingers too. So right side again. And no sheet of paper to begin first.
There we are, Casey. The boat is waiting.
Oh, hold on there.
No, but you know better than to... What's happened to my typewriter?
Yeah, the ribbon's halfway out.
And crumpled paper all over the floor. Oh, Ashford, what have you been up to?
No, take it easy, Casey. Can I help it if your machine is so old and ramshackle is falling apart?
Be game. It was all right until you got at it.
I had to use the sledgehammer.
This is big enough.
No, look here, you two
I
sparklings.
tell you plenty if Mr. Reed weren't expecting it.
Expecting you? He never said nothing to me about it.
Why should he?
Because I'm his bodyguard, that's why. And furthermore, beyond that, I've been told to sit here and keep people out while Casey's been gone.
You can stop then. I'm back.
Here now, I'm still on duty.
Yes?
This case, Mr. Reed. Larry and I are back again.
I've been expecting you. Come in, both of you.
Hey, hold on that chair, Axford. Mr. Reed doesn't want you.
Johnny, I can't understand this reason since I get back.
Oh, well, close the door. Well, Miss Case, you and Lowry ran into a lot of excitement last night.
Yes, we did, Mr. Reed. We've been out all this morning talking to people about it.
Maybe she'd rather be a reporter than a secretary, boss. She'd do all right, too. You got anything that the Sentinel can use? Boss, we got plenty.
You know about the accident last night?
Well, yes, we already had that story in. What I want now is the facts on who's responsible for it. In the bag, Mr. Reed. We got enough to call out the militia and have that roller coaster padlocked.
It isn't safe, Mr. Reed.
Sure of that? A statement made by the owner after the accident blamed it on the stick that had been lying across the rail. And that's what he said, boss. By the time we got past the cops and took a look, well, they might have fixed things up. What about the safety inspector?
That's just it, Mr. Reed. He gave him a clean bill of health on it.
And why are you so sure it wasn't merely an unfortunate accident? Here's why, boss. These little statements. Where they from? Some of the injured passengers?
No, Mr. Reed. The passengers only knew there was an accident. They didn't know how it happened.
I don't These statements are from guys who count, boss. Yeah, but I still The guys who built that roller coaster, the contractors. And here's one from one of the roller coaster employees. He worked right there. He knew what went on.
We got them this morning.
And every one of them sang. Oh, good work. We'll be able to close down that rickety trap immediately. Hello, get me Gunnigan. Shall I do the rewrite on this, boss? Yeah, at once. Miss Case.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Take this other phone and call the composing and tell them to hold the front page. Gunnigan, for just a moment.
Give me composing.
Lowry, send Axford in here. Gunnigan, we're starting a campaign against Ramshackle Amusement Concession.
Composing. Hold the front page for a second.
Now, that's right. We're going after them hammer and tongs.
Here I am, Rich. What's going on?
We have enough for a series, Gunnigan. Now, plenty of proof. No, we won't use names yet. No sense in using all our ammunition at once.
Ammunition, is it? Who shot who?
Oh, Axford, hush up.
Certainly name the roller coaster. The Devil's Dipper. It's unsafe. Hammer on it. I'll tell the readers we'll have more later. In this case, put these statements in an envelope.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
What can I do, Rich?
Axford, you're going to do some bodyguarding.
Sorry, me. You read?
No, those papers Miss Case has. You're going to see that nothing happens to them.
Oh, no, Reed. That ain't no fit kind of a job for a he-man like me. I want something
Well,
important.
these papers are plenty important. They're going to make certain that innocent people aren't the victims of another accident like the one that happened last night.
No paper, Sentinel! Roller coaster declared unsafe. Demand police close down amusement concession. Sentinel paper!
Those meddling newspapers. How did the Sentinel get the story, Scanlon?
Not from me, Durkin.
What about that accident? You told me there was a reporter from the Sentinel at the Devil's Dipper when it crashed.
Sure, with a Dane, but they didn't get in. I swear it, Durkin.
Oh, no, Durkin. Let's look at the facts calmly. Calm, huh? You're in as deep as I am, Buckley. You're the inspector who okayed my permit on that roller coaster. That's very true.
And you got plenty for it. A lot of good it's doing us now.
This doesn't answer my question. How did the Sentinel get enough information to be so positive? If you read past the headlines, you'd know, huh?
You ain't had a chance.
I have. The Sentinel got that information from the contractor and men who built the roller coaster.
What?
They have statements from them. Furthermore, they have a statement from one of your own employees, Durkin. Do they say that? Oh, not in so many words. This story in the Sentinel is just the beginning, Durkin. It intimates that unless I, as inspector, close down the Devil's Dipper, they have proof and they intend to publish it.
So that's why all those reporters outside are hot on the trail. They think the Sentinel's got an exclusive.
The Devil's Dipper will not close. That's what I paid you for, Buckley. Relax, please, Durkin. I have this whole situation well figured out.
Yeah?
You better have. It's very simple. A few threats will take care of these witnesses the Sentinel talks about.
Sure, but they got statements, signed statements.
And that's where you come in, Scanlon.
Yeah?
Get to the point, Buckley. If I remember, Scanlon once did a stretch for safecracking. What about it? Simply that I know where those statements are kept. They're being guarded by a man named Axford. He's not very smart.
Oh, I get it. I swiped them statements before the Sentinel can use them, huh?
Precisely. As for those reporters out there, Durkin, come along. We'll see them together. What are we going to tell them? Leave that to me.
There they are. What about that Sentinel yard?
There's Buckley, the inspector. Are you closing them down? Please. The Sentinel newspaper has not only blackened the reputation of Mr. Durkin, but its report has caused him to lose a lot of trade.
He'll lose more than that.
Who are you?
I'm Lowry. The Sentinel's a paper I work for. Is Durkin closing up or isn't he?
No, he is not. What's more, as inspector, I can vouch for him. That accident was caused by a stick thrown across the rail by some passerby. Surely unintentional.
There'll be a better story than that in the Sentinel tomorrow.
Young man, you can tell your employer this.
Both Mr. Durkin and I have been libeled. We intend to sue.
That's a laugh. Well, we have proof, and you had better use it.
We're suing the Sentinel immediately unless it publishes the retraction.
Oh, it's unless, is it?
I don't like your tone. Gentlemen, you can notify the editors of your various papers that we are suing the Daily Sentinel. Today, we'll demand $1 million damage. And, gentlemen, you may print this, too. Mr. Durkin and I are going to collect it.
Late that evening, Scanlon and an accomplice took up their post near Dick Reed's home in the entrance to a dark alley. There they waited until they saw the bulky figure of Mike Axford approaching.
Here he comes, Monk. See him crossing the street? You mean that big guy, Scanlon? Hey, he ain't gonna be no pushover. They'll handle him. Buckley sure was right about that guy being a little bit on the dumb side. All I did was send him a telegram to bring them statements to his boss's place, and he falls for it. Looks that way. He's turning info. That's them, all right. Couldn't be nothing else. Stay here in the shadows. When I talk to him, you know what to do. It's all set.
Why, me brother, you're a match, huh?
Darling, that's a funny way to help out in the dark. And besides, I'm in too much of a hurry to... Oh, why, you're dirty. Again, Mom. This blood's top. I got the envelope. Run for it.
That sounds like... Axford. Good Lord, Mike, what happened? Why are you here?
Charlie, I've been ambushed. They nabbed the papers. Somebody must have known you told me to bring them here.
What?
There was 10 of them, but it's all around me. Hey, tell me this.
Mike, I never told you to bring no statements to me.
Sure, and I'd have beat them all if they hadn't. What? What was that you said?
How long ago did this happen?
Connie, you must have told me to come here. Here's your telegram. It's the zone in black and white.
But I don't know what's wrong with you. Cato, get in the other room, Axford, and lie down. You have a bad bruise in your head.
It's beyond me, or I mistook this telegram. It's under hand. That's what it is.
Cato, the statements placing the blame for the roller coaster accident are gone, stolen. There's no doubt about who's responsible for that.
Mr. Durkin?
So that's why Buckley and Durkin are so sure about suing the Daily Sentinel for libel. Without the evidence upon which we based our story, they've got us right where they want us.
Very bad, Miss Brett.
There's only one answer. Unless we recover those statements or get new ones from the same witnesses, there's no power on earth that can save us from this libel suit. What's more important, the Devil's Dipper will continue to operate and endanger the lives of hundreds of people. What are you going to do, Mr. All the papers. Get every available man out to try and get new statements from those witnesses. If that fails, Cato...
Yes?
This may be one more job for the Green Hornet.
Now to continue our story. With the evidence against the Devil's Dipper stolen, Dick Reed sent reporters out in an attempt to get their stories on paper a second time. But the attempt was doomed to fail.
So that's where we stand, boss. I went to every one of those witnesses after you phoned here to the paper last night. And none of them would repeat his previous statement? Not a one, boss. Yes?
Mr. Buckley is here to see you, Mr. Reed.
Buckley? Well, send him in this case. Come in yourself. Bring your notebook. Oh, sure, Daddy. That guy here with a summons shows I'm a foot high. Well, I can't avoid it forever, Lowry. Well, Buckley, you wanted to see me? I didn't expect you'd be so easy to see. Get to the point. I wanted to have the extreme pleasure of serving you with this summons myself. Don't imagine that you surprised me with this. You're just as crooked as Durkin, Buckley. You can't talk to me like that. No, we know all about you. Durkin runs the Devil's Dipper only because he bribed you to overlook its clumsy construction. You need proof for that, Reed, not talk. Perhaps we should add a slander suit to this one for libel. You deny what you know is true? Your secretary needn't take notes, Reed. I'll do all my talking in court when you answer that summons. Boss, I've got a summons. Here, Miss Case, file it. In the wastebasket.
With pleasure.
As for you, Buckley, open that door, Lowry. Here, what are you? Let go of me. I'll go out, boss. We're giving you the same treatment your summons got, only instead of a wastebasket. You get outside. Don't show your face around here again, or you'll get the same treatment. What a heave. I'll sue you for a floating battery, Reed. You can't get away with this. Go ahead, try it. Only remember, the Daily Sentinel's going to keep after your rotten racket, libel suit or no libel suit.
That evening, after Dick Reed arrived at his apartment, he described the situation to Cato, his valet and the only living man to know him as the Green Hornet.
Well, that's the story, Cato. The witnesses refused to repeat their evidence. They've been intimidated, threatened. I understand. The Daily Sentinel's being sued for libel. There's no defense. Cato, it's up to us to make sure this crookedness is settled once and for all.
Yes, sir.
Lowry told me about one of those witnesses, a man named Thomas.